Hello, am I back? Well, shoot. Let me post. Okay. Well, it's good timing, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hi, Queen Lilipopo. Welcome in. Okay. Good timing. We already went. I showed off the first person mod, which is surprisingly cool. We read an article that was just re released, but still disappointing. Now we're going to play through the live stream sequence with free cam and no volumetric fog, and look at all the details that have all been found by people on the internet, but it's cool to look at anyways. Queen Lilipopo made a really good breakdown thread of everything and the implications of each thing in the live stream sequence. But we'll also just look at it, and then we're gonna go straight to the Temple of the Ancients. We're gonna look at the walls. I'm gonna explain what even is a whisper, what's a live stream, what are materias, why does it matter, what is frame generation, do you need it, is this a good PC port? We'll go over all of that. If running the game doesn't crash OBS again, then we're going to do all that stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely do Temple. Okay. All right, let's see how this goes. Okay, it's not first person. That means I did it. I did it. Okay. See, this is a different sky map. And again, the graphics are really good on the sky map. It's rendered with a technology called photography. It's an old technology, much older than this NVIDIA DLSS, but you'll notice that it's strikingly realistic. Right. I'm very sorry for the word that I Anyways, okay. I think I have ATV.
We gotta keep moving. Come on.
Oh wait, game audio is super loud again, huh? God damn it. Okay. Not poor Cloud. Oh. Red. That's right. It's ninja time. So, if I'm gonna talk about detail here, one thing that has come up a couple times in the last few days, actually, is is so Scarlet, her face model is the same as Shiva, Jesse, Genova, and probably many others throughout the game. The reason why she's constant, her face model is reused, is Roberto Ferrari, the one of the primary character designers and illustrators for Square Enix, but particularly the remake project, used his wife's face, and that is his wife's face. So it's a little bit of trivia that I re-say every stream. People just don't remember. But it goes to show you how things like you know, makeup, coloration, stuff like that do have a real impressive impact on how different things can look. Okay, we did a good amount of damage there. Who was I talking about? Queen Lolly Popo? She's on Twitch chat right now, and she's a she she makes some really good insights on Twitter, and I will try and link her and on chat, or if ours can link uh her Twitter profile by chance, or if Queen Lily Papa wants to do it, she can. What am I doing? Oh yeah, divine punishment. Yeah, Yuffie's really busted. Uh, as a character. um, One of her best abilities is actually her three ATB ability that you can only get from uh, unlocking it on the folio board. It's like a level 8 folio attack, just like aerial onslaught, and it's only available during United Refocus, which I have modded into the game natively, but it's a busted feature. If you happen to be doppelgangered up, it's yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a full Trinity strike in. Oh, well. I'm not going to try on these spawns.
We can do better. A production issue, perhaps?
Oops. Missed the second one. Okay, one. Ah! Got interrupted. I always lose focus. There we go. Oh, I thought I had it. That's okay. And yes, this is hard mode. The girls in the games are all I know. I know. It goes like in terms of like utility with characters, for me it goes like Cloud is still my favorite to play as, but then it goes like Tifa, or actually goes Yuffie and then Tifa, then Aerith, um, then Sephiroth, then Kate Sith, then Barrett, then Red 13, then Zack. In terms of like their kit utility. Um, okay. All right. So this is where it gets into gets into some intense stuff. I'm gonna turn the frame right now. Let's get more cinematic here.
Let's dance, asshole.
Oh, thank you for the sub, Blitz. Welcome in. Wet Tifa supremacy, yeah. So this, I am using the wet Tifa mod. There's you can add layers of wetness. There's the highest layer currently. Oh. Okay. And yes, I have Cloud looking as Sephiroth-y as possible for this scene. Just because it's awesome. Okay, here we've got Sephiroth just showing up.
Let that righteous anger guide you.
The transformation you see sort of coming over him. This smirk right here. And then this pose. This is really fun to look through. To just see how, like, just straight up Sephiroth he is here. Okay, this one. Yeah. And I am laying it on a little thick, obviously. But the cool thing about mods is that if it's a modded outfit and you put it in slot 1, which is basically the default outfit slot, blood effects still work on the face. If you've replayed this segment on the PS5 with either the his Wild Surf outfit or any of the outfits, any other outfit other than his default one, it disables blood on his face. But yes, this smirk right here, very, very yes, and very like. I mean, the whole vibe is just like Sephiroth's minions as a picture, you know. Yeah, this is good stuff. But yeah, that's a creepy smile. Indeed, Arena. Okay. I'll stop with the constant screenshots. Okay. This is the hook camera, yeah. There's the one built into the console that I don't use as often. It's fine to use. But no, this is actually you, not free. You said the hook camera. I get it. I know this is not the one built into the hook console. This is This is Otis INF's free cam, which I think is better. Disables all the weird fuzz. It's a good one. It's better for me anyways. You have to pay him on Patreon, but it's worth it. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just so photogenic. It's just, look at this. This is so great. Oh. Oh, it's just scrumptious. Oh. Oh. What did Baby Seal do on stream? He just took pictures. Took pictures of Cloud murdering people. Okay. Right. The Sephiroth eyes really help. Really help. You're an Era stan, but Tifa is your favorite to play since Remake. She was a total showstopper there. God, she's so fun to play. Yeah. Aerith too, though. Like Aerith's like the magic supremacy and support stuff. Like it's gonna be missed. She's gonna be missed. Like my best winning teams against like some of the harder VR challenges um relied on Aerith.
Don't let her fool you. She has no scar. You have no scar. She's not Tifa.
She's not Tifa.
We've been over this. I do have a scar. I showed you, remember?
Liar.
But yeah, even the subtlety and
Right.
okay.
Those we hate.
So FYI, people have looked at this and to see if the scar shows. It obviously doesn't show. Why would they do that? But I do like this.
Those we love. Those we fear. Genova will become anyone to fool her prey.
This view. There.
Don't do this!
But I'm no fool.
And of course, cinematically, the closeness is really intense. Like if you come back to the, you know, and then it cuts away before you can really see. But okay, if you watch this, it doesn't look like she's gonna clear that rebel, right? Like it's not looking good. Oh, but then she makes this huge jump, and then she's back here, and it looks like she's just gonna hit that rebel hard, you know. But then she lands over here, unrelated. Right. Okay. But I'm gonna show my favorite shot. Okay, my favorite use of free cam so far. Okay. So I still have I have control of Tifa now, right? And I'm supposed to head over there. But if we free cam down here, okay. All right, I still have control. This part is hilarious to me. Okay, you come here, and then as you approach, oh my god, it's Jaws. This Jaws shot is sick. Okay. All right. Okay. Enough of this silliness. But yeah, full mouth mode right here. Okay. Sorry.
Tifa?
The way he comes to, realizes what he does, and then loses his shit.
Tifa!
The wet look is taking me out of it. Oh yeah. I mean, Fair. But also, like,
Tifa,
right now she is like essentially in like some kind of bizarre live stream placenta inside this whale sack. So okay. So you'll notice how different and how vibrant some of this looks without volumetrics. I disabled specifically for this to make it a little bit more visible. Um, Hi, Sleep Easy. Welcome in.
A weapon?
Yeah, she's just like in the placental sack of this weapon right now. So she's supposed to be this, like, it's supposed to look like Korean skincare right now. That's what she's got going on, and that's okay. Oh, and then we got White Whispers. So so I think right off the bat, what we're seeing is that the White Whispers' first manifestation to us, the first time we see it, is in association with the weapons. And at this point, the weapons are still like natal. And so this to me represents that as the planet's will, the planet's guardian, these are the planet's guardians in their most pure form, right? That's why they're white. Is they're uncorrupted. And we'll get into why I think they are the Cetra soon. And why I think
The
that
whispers? Fighting?
at some level Aerith begins to
Where
um,
are we?
usher them and usher their will using the power of the planet, using the white materia.
The life stream?
So, okay, we're in live stream now. Now, the way that's manifesting is very interesting. Because we're in a pool of Mako, right? And so the live stream and Mako are the same thing, right? So um, there's this undercurrent of this energy that apparently moves around to different planets. It seems to float within water or within space inside the planet. Um, we know that it moves around because it moved away from Midgar. Um, that's explained in On a Way to a Smile. After Meteor Fall, it starts to relocate and move around. We also get indication that it moves around in the Bugenhagen side quest where he's like less of a dick. Um, so we're like inside this space that's both like physically in the planet, physically in this Mako pool, but is materializing these visions and this imagery of Nibelheim that's specific to um, Tifa's memories, right? So the way that's how that manifests like this, um, it's not explicit, but because of and I've talked about this before, because of the Deus Ex nature of the live stream, like the entire world is built on live stream, right? Live stream is Mako. Mako is condensed into materia. Materia can then be used to make magic. Magic strong enough to destroy the world, strong enough to create life, right? So the entire world system is through the live stream. So live stream is the god of the gaps in this world system. So you really don't have to ask too hard, like, how is this possible? Well, through live stream, all three things are possible. But let's look at some of the details. First of all, I hate to say it, but without volumetric fog, this area is even more beautiful. So if it didn't look this vibrant to you, there's nothing wrong with your game. I did this, but let's look at some of the details that that they put in here to let us know that, you know, the events of remake and you know, Tifa's entire past informative stuff is considered. So if you'll recognize this, this is the top of the plate, or this is the plate pillar, the Sector 7 pillar, right? Complete with the zip lines that they zip line themselves to safety with. Okay, and then if you look here, this is the reactor in Nibelheim. This is specifically where, you know, she finds Brian and confronts Sephiroth. Brian, her dad. Okay. But also, and the Ultimanias do express that that these were put here on purpose. But there's also the Stargazer in. Merle's building. Where Tifa lived in Midgar, and where Cloud lived for a few days in Midgar as well. And the Stargazer Inn's actually one of those ones that's kind of easy to see without having to like mess around too much with angles in the original game without free cam. But Seventh Heaven, which here. Seventh Heaven takes a lot more of a, I think, discerning eye. And so very impressive to the people that were able to find that, particularly Queen Lily Popo, who was able to make out the top of Seventh Heaven in free cam. Also, just great music here. All of the tracks from the live stream sequence are really good. There's more than one. All the game music has been ripped now too, so you can hear elements of it that are not immediately available. But here it is. Here's Seventh Heaven. There's still no elevator down below, and it's sparse inside, but that's okay. The fact it even exists is more than we deserve. And so these are all to sort of represent the obvious, that this is what makes up Tifa's like kind of core persona right now. and what she's thinking. Guitar Wizard really doesn't gel well with me. The scar stowing stuff they added, we all know the real reason they wanted it. Just reeks too much of fan service for me. Um, you know, I actually liked the scar showing stuff. I thought that it was a good way for Tifa to generate like some of her own agency, you know. Um, I didn't really it didn't come across as fan servicey to me. It came across more as like, um, you know, the first time she shows it, it's one like, hey, you know, where were you? This is what I had to go through. Um, you know, and at one point she trusted him enough to know like, hey, this is the human body. This is my pain. You know, like I think, yeah, yeah. I'm probably more, yeah. I don't know if it's the fan service or like Gooners. I think it's more about, yeah, it would be fan service if she literally flashed us, yeah. But she didn't. It was more about showing him the truth. You know, like, hey, I value you enough that I would rather you be broken free of this illusion. You know, even if it's uncomfortable for me to expose this to you, I value you enough that I would rather you be free and know the truth and not be gaslit. You know, um, and have to see me in this compromising position. It was like it was a show of her devotion, I think, um, to his wellness. You know, shipper stuff aside, you know, like that's, yeah.
We have to turn back. You're not gonna find your mom here. She's gone.
Poor Tifa.
Please. I need you.
Cloud, please, I need you. The busted up Nibelheim gate here.
I'm gonna go find my mom. Then I'm coming with you, Tifa. Me too. Mount Nebel, here we come. Okay then. Thanks, you guys. Hey, look. Think Cloud wants to come too? Cloud? Come on, let's go.
And what I think's really interesting from a POV perspective is that even though all of these memories are like pertain to Tifa, they are from Cloud's POV. So that she's experiencing them in the live stream when Cloud's not there is really interesting. And I do think that it does illuminate that, you know, the live stream has some of these more omnitemporal elements. And I know that's an uncomfortable like space to be in because of the way that's utilized, particularly in Western media. But it's also not particularly discordant from um, the way that Yogacara conceptualizes time is you know, that causality is, you know, can be uh, can be linked through sequence, but in like an omnitemporal sense. So, you know, like the idea of these memories existing in the live stream, even though Cloud hasn't fallen into it yet, um, isn't super disconnected with these concepts. And I think it also, the way that time is conceptualized uh, as like this very loose, you know, more of a tapestry uh, perspective than something sequential is why we get stuck on this the sequel talk. Like, and I've had plenty of arguments about this and about the semantics of this, but for a lot of people, the fact that future elements dictate present course events makes this seem like a sequel, and I think that that's a reductive way to look at the what a sequel is. But I certainly also understand that there's a frustration of not really having good language to describe the way that the story is being told, you know, and because it's an adaptation that also has elements that involve multiple worlds, you know, with branching paths and possibilities, and um, and that some there's been very strong evidence that Aerith in remake had future knowledge, and that's not like conjecture. That's like literally in the Ultimania. It's like, hey, it's didn't you notice how weird it is that Aerith knows shit from the future? So foresight is a way for information to travel through time. So time travel is part of this universe now, and um, and because it's now being explicitly talked about, that does make it discordant from the original game, right? There is a deviation. You can't avoid that. Does that mean that the plot will now deviate in a way that we get a different outcome for characters? Of course not. Of course it doesn't mean that, but it does. It does change the scope of the project. It does change the scope of the themes, etc.
Cloud, is this... Am I dying?
Also, having the, you know, the idea of this being affiliated with death is interesting. You know, the way that live stream and things in the live stream are associated with this concept of homecoming, and it's not death, it's a homecoming, right? So is Tifa near death here? And the answer is that in this world system, death means something different than it does in a more secular framework for the world, you know, which many of us probably have. My name is Judah. Is time travel specifically possible in the game, or is the live stream a reservoir of all time knowledge? I mean, if something manifests from the future in the world as we know it, and that mechanic is through the live stream, does the live stream being its mechanic like somehow inoculate it from being time travel in a semantic sense? No, it doesn't. Um, but so yeah, it's time travel. You know, but we're traveling through time right now. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's not the I, all the all I like to really say, and this is something that I've said, Night Sky Princess said, we said it on the Max podcast, is that um, yes, all of those terms apply. Timelines. Hamaguchi said that to me himself. He's all, well, we created this idea of timelines so that we could explain away why Zach's intermission scene doesn't fit in with Rebirth's, showing of the interlude. Like, yeah, it technically does fall under many definitions of timeline, as does this fall under definitions of time travel. And if there's multiple worlds that have the same characters in them following different paths, does that fit a multiverse definition? Of course it does. It's all of those things. However, it's none of those things in the way that they are very typically utilized in storytelling. And the things that threatens in storytelling, the most common things that threatens in storytelling are stakes, like ideas about mortality and impact it has on themes of loss and grief. This is not being presented in a way, none of those world systems are being presented in a way that really threaten that. We're still going to feel loss. We're still going to probably hit the same themes about protecting, our resources and our planet. Cloud's identity is still central. You know, the idea of making your own reality from dishonest ideals versus making them from who you truly are. All of that stuff will still get explored, and none of the way that any of these esoteric concepts are being used in a way that threatens those, right? So I think why people are so precious about like not wanting to use terms like that is because they don't want the potential consequences of those things to materialize, or they don't think that they will. And so but I think that moves the goalpost, and it does sort of devalue what's actually happening, which is we're using all of those concepts and still nailing all the themes. We're using all of these things in our adaptation, but still telling a story that hits the same narrative strengths and has the same lessons in it.
Just promise me one thing. When we're older and you're a famous soldier, if I'm ever trapped or in trouble, promise you'll come and save me.
Huh?
That's what heroes do. They save people. Please? Just once.
FF8 Master C says, "What's my take on Kitase being satisfied with the next part?" I don't think I love Kitase. I do. He's one of the so both times I've met him, I've watched him interview like several people or be interviewed by several people, and he's like the biggest jokester. He's very sarcastic. He has a quick sense of humor. Um, he's also deeply unserious, and his job, like his role in the company, by the way, is brand manager, right? So his job is to absolutely be satisfied with Final Fantasy as a brand. So I'm not saying like don't believe what he's saying. I'm just saying that it's his job to say that. Um and I I can't imagine there being a variant of this product where he wouldn't say that. So um I'm personally I have faith that part 3 will deliver. Um Not necessarily because Kitase says so, but because Hamaguchi is one of the best game directors that's ever lived now. He's really come into his own. He's at his absolute peak, you know. Okay, and then we got a whisper dome here. So what I think this is a representation of the struggle that's been happening in the live stream for 2,000 years, right? We've got the souls of what I think are the good Cetra and the bad Cetra in the live stream. And the bad Cetra, I think, have been corrupted by originally Genova, and the recent uptick in their strength is the result of Sephiroth. But we're watching something that's been in place, you know, slowly building for 2,000 years. And it didn't just start. We now know for a fact that Genova's had its hooks and stuff for the last couple thousand years at least, or probably a couple thousand years. Like 500 years ago, for instance, there's a, Masamune. The Masamune storyline happened in a town outside of Wutai, and that was all Genova. You know, so Genova's been corrupting the entire world system here and slowly gaining power, and the powers that's sort of been, I think, come to the surface and during the events of the game has been a result of Sephiroth. You know, so yes, Sephiroth is still in control, but Genova's still an agent, right? I don't think this means that Sephiroth gets a redemption arc, you know, and separates from Genova. I think instead what this means is that there's just a more scale to the antagonistic force. Like, Sephiroth is still responsible for choosing this path, right? Because Cloud also has this choice before him, and also has pain, and also is an orphan. But Cloud's choice is different, right? So culpability-wise, Sephiroth's still responsible, you know, for embracing Genova. But what I see here is, like, in this sequence, this is symbolic of the last 2,000 years. And the reason why Tifa's seeing it is because she's in this live stream that seems to contain a lot of, you know, omnispatial, omnitemporal, information and knowledge. And so she's seeing it. And then the weapons have had to manifest recently, you know. Now, my biggest fear with the weapons is because we're going to have to fight the weapons, right? I hope that it's that the weapons start to see us as threats, not that the weapons themselves get corrupted by Sephiroth, right? The heartbreak of having to fight the planet to save it because we're no longer trustworthy as a species really helps deliver the messaging. So I hope they are able to maintain that. And why I think they might start to see us as antagonistic might have something to do with what Cloud ultimately does. You know, they might see Cloud and his actions with Sephiroth as the final nail in the coffin. And that's harsh, you know. Because right here, they're clearly supportive of Tifa. A Sephiroth manifesting in a live stream. Because Sephiroth's everywhere, right? He's in the live stream right now, you know? He's at the Northern Crater. He's materia right now. Is there an over-under on the goldfish weapons digivolving into the originals, or if the originals were still slumbering up north? No, I think it does. It like I I didn't know this wasn't like. I was so sure that it was said in the game somewhere that was surprised that it didn't, because I just started telling people like early other people that are early access, like, oh yeah, the larval forms of the weapons. Like I just assumed that they were larval forms, and I thought it was said somewhere, but I guess it wasn't. But the Ultimanians did come out and confirm that these are like proto sort of weapon sperm. And so I have a feeling these will become the weapons we know and love.
Stay strong, Tifa. You'll make it. But not if you give up. You have to want it.
Zanganella.
Hard as you can.
You need to get up now, Tifa.
Doc
You can't
Sheeran.
die here. Too many still depend on you.
Come back.
Eris showing up here, represent their friendship, which I think is wholesome, and I like. I really appreciate that that exists. Okay, hold on a sec.
To us, Tifa. We've got a fight to finish.
I had kind of hoped that some of Avalanche would show up here. Jesse Biggs, and Wedge. But it's fine. Same point. This is the most heartbreaking. The thing she says here, which is... She says, I can't lose you too, but beforehand, I've got to show you something. So one of the things that can happen when you're trying to make something that's using a rendered model first person is that you got to move the head out of the way. Otherwise, you just see eyeball meat if you stick the camera there. So here is a cursed pose for you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Indeed, Arena. You can't take him too. So, like, for Tifa, like, I mean, she's lost everything, you know, and so for her to be particularly attached to the last thing, you know, which is Cloud that she values, it was just heartbreaking. But the performances from Brit are so good, and I've heard it in JP too. It sounds just really like heart wrenching. Okay.
Can't see anything down there.
So at this point, even though they've been attacked by Sephiroth, the weapons are still sympathetic to humanity. So something has to change, you know? And I'm hoping it's not that they get corrupted by Sephiroth. I'm hoping that it's something more akin to the OG, which is this, that the planet has to make a decision and the planet is angry, you know? Spurred on by Sephiroth, maybe, of course, you know? Um,
Tifa? Barret!
Coming.
I actually think this is
Hey, get
the
your shit
best
together.
music from the live stream segment. It's very understated in this live, but if you happen to pull the music files and listen to it on its own, it's really good. And I'm hoping that it's an indicator of music that we'll get more of in part 3. So there being white whispers here is, it's the first time that the rest of the party sees them. They don't really notice. But the way that Tifa manifests from the weapon here is interesting. It's not like it's not as if she literally comes out of the stomach. It's more akin to world traversal, which I think is important. So we'll watch in the sequel. Because she just materializes right here, like she got transported, right? And that's visible in game. You don't need free cam to actually see that. You just see it better. Um, mods make this look pretty ridiculous.
Tifa!
Later losers.
Luck down there.
And then she even says to him, like, good luck down there. So she's immediately aware of the sympathetic nature currently of the weapons. You know.
Hey,
So she now has a unique relationship with the planet too. We'll make it through the whole chapter. I'll kind of jam through it just so that I can get credit for clearing the chapter on hard. I'm only a few away from platinum. I did all the hard stuff. I just have to clear some of the hard mode chapters. That's all. I've done all the piano, all the challenges, all the mini games. Yeah. Don't worry about
I'll go get
how
the
wet.
others.
Cloud? You used to tell us that when a person died,
So now we see that people can physically travel to different worlds, like happened with Tifa, also with Cloud and Genova fight. Or are they only illusions?
We all knew it was a story to scare us out of climbing.
Yeah, the line is blurry, Angelus Noctis.
You believed it, though.
I didn't.
So,
At
and
least
I kind of mentioned this before. The boundaries that do boundaries exist? Yeah, but they're very easily written out. There's so many things now that have the biggest Deus Ex Machina, that the live stream is the basis for all things, right? So it's got infinite explanatory power for everything. But we have other things like Yogacara, Cloud's infinite potential. Like there's so many things that are the fact that some of the characters have foresight now. You know, these are all like really big boundary breakers for a narrative. So ultimately, the only thing that defines what happens is the authors. You know, the easiest cop out these games have is somehow the live stream did this, and no elaboration happens. Yeah, I love and hate that too. But so now what we're really asking is, what are the writers going to do? You know, what do they want to do? And then you're starting to weigh the consequences of each thing. You've promised a lot with the remake project. You've promised it to be more than just a remake. It's an adaptation. You've got developers saying it's more than a remake. You've got voice actors saying I'm excited because this is so much more than a remake, right? And there is the blank check of open possibility. So you've got to both cater to the people that excites and cater to the people that terrifies. That's a really tough balance to strike, and there's no one right answer. So to me, and this has always been my point of view, is that from an artistic integrity standpoint, I would prefer the the writers and the team do what they want instead of what they think we want. Um, you know, feedback is important, especially for things like game design and experience, but narratively, like the part that's raw art, I'd rather they just do what they want and feel like what happened is what they wanted, not what they, pushed back. But then isn't everything an expression of the live stream? Are some of its expressions more real than others? Having some people saying the multiple worlds don't exist in Cloud is just crazy. I mean, come on, Angelus Noctis. No, I mean it's just Cloud. That's it. Okay, that's the other Deus Ex. Cloud is also crazy, right? So that it also has infinite explanatory power, right? Is that the person that's telling the story is unreliable? So you've got an unreliable narrator, a world system that can make literally anything happen. You know, so these are these are problems that can only be uh, executed well if the authors do not rely heavily on them, and make each payoff feel supported enough. And yes, there are multiple worlds. You're not crazy. Okay. um the what people and like if you really want to be as reductive as possible, this is 9 out of 10 times like related to what people want to happen with Cloud and uh characters. Like that's the biggest motivator for people like really pushing these super narrow focused versions of the story. you know when I think whatever happens with Cloud's relationship is going to be whatever the devs want it to happen, and then they'll build a world system around that, not the other way around. James Hitman. Thank you for the follow. Or for the subscription. Very much appreciated. There's also the fact that people were way less cherry picking 30 years ago with the OG. Yeah. And there's less to cherry pick. You know? Under the High Wind is going to be a mini game. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I'm excited for it. Okay.
I had my suspicions, but I buried them. I wanted it to be true so badly. I didn't want to think my mom was just gone. Plus, Emilio and the others said they'd help me find her, so up the mountain we went.
Some help they were. Running off and leaving you out there?
Not that I knew about any of that.
You don't remember?
I hit my head pretty hard when I fell off that cliff. Think it messed with my memory. Everything from around that time's a blur.
I do like
I only knew what the others
the framing of this scene a lot.
It didn't even occur to me to question them.
What'd they tell you?
They said that you egged me on.
This is the most authentic we see Cloud, in my opinion. Like this is the closest to the real him that we see. You know, like that shy, like primal. He's close to his memories before anything happened. He gets low, like he gets low to meet Tifa where she's at. Like everything about his body language, it's really like curated to let us know this is like kind of the real Cloud, you know.
But now I know that's not what happened at all. When the rest of them ran, you were there for me. You stayed when I needed you most. If that's not a hero, then I don't know what is.
I'm no hero. What kind of hero falls off a cliff with the person he's trying to save? And push...
The self-doubt, like that's real Cloud right there. Like the Cloud at the beginning of Remake would never say that. Would never say like, what kind of hero does this?
Just him into a pool of Mako. Sometimes I don't even know who I am.
And you can see Tifa reveling in it, right? Not because she's happy that he's uncomfortable, but she's like, I recognize this person, right? It's not scary the way that he was in Remake, you know.
I forget things everyone else remembers just fine. And know things I've got no right knowing. It's like there's different people inside of me. And the worst part...
I can't take this seriously because of the listen, this is just what you're gonna get with me. I'm gonna show off the weirdest mods
I can't even tell
every
you
single week
I begin.
until part 3 comes out.
Soldier cells degrade. I think that's what's happening to me. That I'm falling apart.
That's not going to happen to you.
At least the game looks good.
Now it's my turn.
I actually think Cloud looks pretty rad with the white hair and the Sephiroth eyes. If he had a transformation, you know, a Venom transformation in part 3, his Black Materia transformation, that'd be pretty sick.
Aw, worried about little old me?
Aye, that's right. Worried.
Look, she's just still wet from being in the placenta of the weapon. Okay? The mod makes Tifa look like she has a severe case of malaria. I know, she's just really sweaty, like horrible fever. Okay, I'm gonna turn off this mod, the wet mod, as soon as I get down here, and then we'll go look at the Temple of the Ancients.
So basically, we got some nasty looking black whispers going up against the planet in the lifestream. And these whispers are with Sephiroth, right?
Yeah, at least that's how it looked to me while I was in there.
And? Any idea who was winning? Could you tell?
The planet. The lifestream.
You know, the music there in that scene has the weird violin slides from The Edge of Despair.
What did you expect? This
Is Tifa the only one with a wet mod? We need one for Glenn. We need one for every character except Yuffie.
Just close your eyes and listen.
No weird mods for Yuffie, please. Please, I'm begging you.
She knows Sephiroth ain't going down easy, and that she needs others to step up. But we're the only ones who can, don't you?
We'll get to the end of this chapter, and then I'm going to turn off
Put our
Tifa's
lives
wet
on
mod.
the line to save hers. You in?
And we'll turn on Aerith's.
You bet we are. Huh?
Wow, what have I walked in on? You know, there are places better suited to these kinds of conversations.
Like Cosmo Canyon.
The home of planetology. It's right around the corner, isn't it?
And do they have materia there? Because if they do, I am in, like all in.
Since time immemorial, it has been a place for both planetary energies and ancient wisdom. Of course we...
Say no more! Let's ride, people!
Wow, Reg, what's got you so excited?
I grew up there.
That settles it. We've got ourselves a pilgrimage to make.
While it won't be an easy trek, this ought to speed things up. A free-flyer pilot works out of an old airstrip near...
Yeah, where are the
He
Bugenhagen?
can take you
Where's
parts
the
way.
moist Bugenhagen
Use the
mods?
south gate and follow the trail. You can't miss it. And I should... This here's Spango. He's taken quite a liking to you.
Bango!
Happy to give you guys a lift.
Bango's my favorite
Thanks.
aesthetically.
For everything.
The pleasure was all mine. And if you need anything else, just ask around the village.
Okay.
You know, we should probably take a look at the town notice board. See if there are any jobs. For us.
What am I doing? Okay, first things first, let's change outfits. Oh no, let's not change outfit.
Think we can do without your kind of help, you shameless bootlicker.
Okay, let's end the chapter so that I get the credit, which involves going to the airstrip. Then I got to kill the app, change mods around, hope it doesn't destroy OBS again.
Well, looks like we found the airstrip. Or what's left of it.
Yeah, it's definitely seen better days.
You can say that again. It's more crater than runway.
Are you kidding me? So we came here for nothing?
Maybe not. See that?
Oh, a Republic telephone booth, eh? What a wee look.
Send up smoke and we'll be right with you, folks. Bronco Airlines. Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Guess so.
So, find anything?
Yeah, we gotta send up smoke.
Like, with a fire?
Wait, you've never heard of smoke signals? Wow, what did I teach you in Midgar?
Enough.
Enough.
Well, leave it to someone who knows more than just enough.
I do like that of all the people, Yuffie probably has the most to survive outside on her own.
But I can speed things up.
Well, Red 13 probably.
Airplane, follow the smoke!
Aerith trying to do it in the background.
Right on cue!
Well, I'll be damned.
Told you I'd speed things up. Over here!
Who's watching for smoke? How does that work? He probably just has like a fucking ring camera right there. It just wants to see if people can make fire. Phantom!
You talk? The hell kind of magic trick
Is it real quiet on my end too? The game's super quiet. I turned it down because it was killing me. But I can find a little bit of.
But the old girl likes a challenge.
How's that balance wise?
With hazard pay, I say this is fair. And since I don't have much else going on, I'll be here scratch my head. Jump on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Pay the fee.
Much better. Hop on board and sit where I tell you. Gotta make sure my baby's balanced just so. Hold on tight now here.
Okay. We're gonna skip so that we get to. Okay. Completed chapter 9 on Hybrid. That's what I need. Oh, the main reason you want to turn fog off is for Cosmo Canyon, by the way. It looks so much better.
What?
Thought maybe flames would be okay.
Actually, the Sleeping Forest looks the best.
Out in here? Open a window.
Hey, Sid,
Yeah.
you're not worried about
Oh, hey, look, it's Mr. Can't See the Rift.
What if Shinra sees us?
Yeah.
Shinra don't own the skies. Shitheads couldn't stop me even if they tried.
Now, people have said, like, it doesn't technically say it. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's the heavy implication.
Getting pretty close now.
It could be a fake out.
Bringing her down.
I don't know who that fake out would serve. But I think either way, it's clear why you make it in
Okay, folks, we're here. Brought you as far as I could. Hope y'all don't mind walking, cause now you're
Yeah,
on your own.
if Sid can just see it, like, doesn't even act like it hasn't been there his whole life.
Set
Yeah,
up
the
a
Sky
ticket.
Rift. Oh, yeah.
Just make sure I got room to land.
Okay. Alright. Question, why would they have Sid see the rift out of all the characters? Nomura, when asked about it, would just answer, well, you see, since Sid is closest to the sky, it's natural that he would be aware of its goings and phenomenon. Tell me that's not some shit Nomura would say. He would say that. For sure. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's hope. Hope to the Lord. Okay, guys, I'm going to change scenes again. And hopefully it doesn't Break the stream. Okay. Cheese and rice. Okay. Okay, let me change the mod structure around a little bit. I just got a message from old man Sakaki. The fuck is that wet Tifa mod? Gooner. Ah. Listen, I'm just showing off mods, okay? You don't have to be weird about it. Eh. And I'll show off a mod that's only mine for the moment. It is exclusive content. How are we all doing? Not a fan of OBS. It needs a serious overhaul. It constantly needs overhauls. It's so gnarly. But yes, you're right. I agree. Agreed completely. Like, what are we doing here, you know? Okay. Make sure that free cam doesn't break our love. Okay. It's fine. When have I ever disturbed you? with anything that I've done. Okay. See, it's not so bad. Look. Look. So this is a version of the mod that, one, doesn't have the weird floating weapon. Yes, it clips with the cape, but hey, man, it's still pretty good, okay? Once we get other framework mods, we should be able to make invisible weapons. But this is maskless, loveless Cloud. It's a ABC exclusive. It helps with some friends. Okay, Tifa's less wet. Let's change their outfits though. We're about to go do something super serious. So we should have more serious outfits on, I think.
Nervous, huh?
That's more serious. But we could just do this. Default. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's just do that. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's go check out the Temple of the Ancients. See, look. She's not covered in a coat of Vaseline now. It's okay. Aerith is, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's better. Okay, this is a serious chapter for her, so she needs to be able to get out of slippery situations. Best way is to be slippery herself. You know? Yeah. Korean skincare. Okay. Alright. What else did I add? Oh, yeah.
Are you taking a brief vacation as well, Cloud? Currently...
Let's look at Zach's eyes. Don't worry about the frame generation stuff that you're saying. It doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. Shut up. Did this work? Yes, it worked. Alright. Alright. Zach has Zolam's eyes now, the Midgar Stormer. It's a good look for him. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay.
That one felt pretty good.
It looks so much better like this. Yeah. He sucks so bad. He's just not.
About what I expected.
All right, that worked. That's all I wanted to see. Okay, let's go. Let's go look at the Temple of the Ancients. What are we doing here? What are we doing with our lives?
Are my trials not challenging enough?
No, they're not.
If there's
Okay.
nothing else, then I wish you good luck in your
Oh,
travels.
look what happened. His outfit disappeared. Oh, that's crazy. Whoa, do I have to kill? I've got to close and reopen to add that mod back. Oh well. Let's change his weapon anyways. God, I hate that weapon so much. This is the coolest looking weapon. The Umbral Blade and the Slipstream Saber are the two coolest looking ones. Every other one is a little bit of a disappointment. Well, actually I like the Rune Blade too, to be honest.
All I wanted was...
I wonder. We're just doing some science together, don't worry about it. Into Wild Surf. And then back. Nope, it's just gone. Yeah, that's fine. It's a little bulky and cumbersome during cutscenes anyways. And then we'll change her to Majestic Blanger. Okay, let's do it. Let's get out of here. I could kill the game and come back for the other outfit, but this is fine. We're gonna look at lore anyways. We're supposed to be being serious about this.
Not long now. I hope you realize this temple of yours is not, in fact, the promised land.
No. Then what is it?
The beginning of the end. The celebration of the faithful.
Poor
A
Roche.
watershed moment for all mankind. But the temple itself, merely the stage.
Objective sighted.
Are you sure this is the place?
Quite.
And so they do keep this pretty consistent. So the temple has not materialized yet. So it is not visible on this part of the map. Right now it's just this. It's just empty void. But this concentric square pattern is, it's really cool imagery. And I do like it a lot.
Hey guys, look!
I'm looking.
All right, mateys. Time to hoist the sails.
This thing doesn't have any! And I'm not your matey either!
Just roll with it, kid. Y'all ready? Then batten down the hatches and hold on tight.
Aye aye!
This is your captain speaking. Outside your windows, you'll see open waters. Be advised there may be sudden ocean swells. How was that?
Just kill me now.
This thing's practically a paddle boat. She can swallow us whole on a whim. So we're sticking to the shallows.
Aerith is the oily one now. Is the square meant to be echoing the Shinra logo? I believe that it is. And this is something I've said for a while. I said it with Sleep Easy on one of ours, but I do think this this logo or this pattern is, it's similar to Square to Shinra's for a reason. Whether it's something that Rufus saw and became like sort of his you know, like obsession.
There's so much tension.
Waves did a number on the old gal. Gonna give her a once-over. You go on ahead.
Sure about that?
I'm a big boy.
I like that Cloud thought that was funny. When he giggles to himself. Also, if this area looks different than you remember it, it is. It's, again, it was a heavy fog area. Let's look at the sky, though, in the menu screen. They use so many different skyboxes. This one is my favorite. It's got nice beach. Look at that. Look how good those graphics are. There's tankers out in the water. I wonder where this is in real life. I'm going to disable the HUD as much as possible because it's distracting. Not just because there's frame generation stuff, but just because it's a beautiful game to see without any HUD. Okay, so here we are. Temple of the Ancients.
The ancients built all this? Damn.
The Cetra. Yes.
Yeah, we gotta geographically pinpoint.
What? Finally.
We who are born of the planet, with her we speak, her flesh we shape. Unto her promised land shall we one day return. By her loving grace and providence may we take our place in paradise.
Yeah, we know you know it. You've said it like 3 times already.
No. This isn't the promised land. I mean, just look around.
There's no promise
It
here.
can't be. Not with all this sadness and anger.
We good?
Yeah.
So the hieroglyphics here. They're unlike any hieroglyphics that we've seen presented for the Cetran language so far. They are more akin to like Egyptian hieroglyphic caricatures, right? Like they're not real, but and I think that is meant to kind of match the motif of the OG's Temple of the Ancients. If you recall, Temple of the Ancients in OG had hieroglyphics, and something that was said in I want to say the 10th anniversary, but correct me if I'm wrong, about the Temple of the Ancients is that it was supposed to represent kind of a time capsule of different eras of Cetran civilization throughout history. which is why there's different cultural motifs that seem to kind of match humanity's own history, like from Earth humanity, not humanity from Gaia. Also, look how big of a place this is. But this is just the surface and the externals, right? As soon as things go wonky, the actual structure of this place does begin to like lose sensical cohesion, which I think actually adds to its coolness. Because it had that Escher vibe, right? The MC Escher vibe with the staircase before. So the way that it sort of reproduces that in 3D space is by like kind of making a geological space that shouldn't make sense, you know? Like going in here, you don't see all the different stairs and floating aisles and stuff like that. And while a lot of people don't like that, I think being transported to the zone of the Temple of the Ancients is really cool. Back here.
They didn't waste any time. The greedy sons of bitches.
Back to the planet. It's on now. You're gonna feel this.
Here goes. Ready? Why don't you let me? Watch yourself.
My turn.
It's fun to fight without HUD, by the way.
Let's do this.
But it does become a little impossible after a while.
Back to the planet.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's do this. Let's go. Let's finish this. That's it. You're gonna feel this.
It's your turn. I'll take a Watch yourself.
Hang back. You know. Come on, down here.
All set. Right on. Finish it. Moving on then.
I should probably change my materia setup a little bit to be more. Let's do lightning. We'll do fire. Are most things ice here? Actually, I think most things are ice. It could just be quake. Yeah, I've all weapon skills max too. Let's see. Why do I? Oh, we need to be better. I'm sorry. Rival has re-raise. Have re-raise. Here we go. Let's take a look inside this. Yeah, I didn't do all of them, Dante 7. It's a long story why, but it has to do with the way that the table's edited and it conflicts with another mod. I'll get it fixed eventually. Just it's super low priority right now. Yep, nothing inside these Relnicas. It's Gelnica in Japanese in Rebirth, which is a bummer to me. Because I had thought that they made a distinction between these and Gelnicas because the Gelnicas are bigger. Because the Sunken Gelnica was a level in like a secret dungeon.
Fiends killed these men. This is one hell of a mess.
Yeah, but they didn't have Aerith. We get a free pass, right?
So that's interesting. So she's getting a flash, right? So she's getting a flash from other Cetra in the live stream here. But ones that seem to be specifically like linked to the temple.
Half of me is Cetra, right? I tried, but no free pass for us.
Now, I know I came with you all this far. I ain't about to go in there. Sorry, folks.
No, don't apologize. You've done so much for us already. We'll always be grateful, Sid.
Wait, don't misunderstand. You'll need a way home. So when you're ready, I'll be here.
The area looks so cool. If you're like beelining to the end, this area is a slog, but if you're like taking your time and you're a big lore person, this area is like a pure dream. Like we probably won't even get through all of it in this stream, but
The ancient has entered the temple, and he is doubtless close behind. This is going to be
a Capeless Vincent, yeah, Capeless Vincent actually looks really good.
I hope you're watching, Dad.
Yeah, Daddy. Watch me, Daddy. Roche. So, I mean, it goes without saying, but soldiers share an eye model asset. So if you change Cloud's eyes, you change Roche's eyes, you change Broden's eyes. But not Zack's eyes.
Cloud, do you know who?
Sephiroth beat us to the punch. Come on. We don't have much time.
There being a tree in the second to last chapter like the way that this tree sort of parallels the tree in Midgar at the Shinra HQ. I do find that significant. Do you think we see more of Roche in part 3? Do we get a Roche Netflix series, prequel series? Actually, that would kind of go hard. Oh, shoot. Seeing the squares get kind of more narrow too, like this, like I don't think there's much like material significance, but I do think symbolically, like feeling like things are squeezing, like you're getting stuck in something, like sort of representative of how space changes in here, like it's a pocket, right? It's like the square area, it squeezes, and then you come in here and it's much larger than it should. It's like this way to symbolize the sort of spatial distortion that happens here. Like, it doesn't make sense how large this realm is now. We're like in a pocket sort of dimension.
Whoa. Look at it. The ancients built all this just to hide something?
Because again, this is the power of the lifestream, right? This is the power of Mako and magic. Nothing is off the table. Space and time.
Like Kate hasn't already told them. Doesn't matter if they know or not. We just need to find it first.
Hold up. What the hell?
I could be wrong, but I'm starting to think
it's not a loop, it's a spiral. Doofus Shinra with the 2023 Game of the Year reference. Alan Wake 2. I love Alan Wake 2 so much. I was just playing some this morning, as a matter of fact.
The only promised thing here is death for us all.
Elena, cut the chatter.
Hey, you know I'm right.
Sir, Avalanche and the Ancient, they're here.
I say we set an ambush and take them out.
No, we focus on the mission. Our orders were to find proof that this is indeed the Promised Land, so we will split up and search. Reno, Rude, pair off. Elena, you're with me.
Sir.
Reno. See you keep your priorities straight.
Copy that, boss.
This temple's daunting enough without Shinra and the Black Robes complicating things. Gonna be tough going, folks.
You think Sephiroth's here too?
No. I know he is.
Got a real bad feeling about all this.
We shouldn't think like that. Stay positive, okay? This place can sense our emotions. Turn them against
So,
us.
yeah,
Okay,
the way this immediately shows up is you are in this alternate dimension with all these extra spaces. Like, because these are all segments of the map, by the way. So, like, why we can't see the outside is because inside the temple, like, different rules apply. But there's lots of little murals and symbols. We'll get to this. There's plenty of little trees like this too. Yeah, it's mostly ice.
It's on you.
Can you take over? I got it. I can do that again.
So the symbols on these, they seem to be linguistic. Right, so let's keep a note of what looks like a 2, but it's upside down. And this has real Shinra logo vibes, you know. When you see it this way, it looks even more so like the Shinra logo. So you can see where you could make a conclusion that emulation of the Cetra is what motivated, you know, the logo design.
We just get turned upside down?
Or the temple did. Depends how you look at it.
Whenever you get lost here. But without fog effects, you can see pretty far. So you can see sort of the different stuff that we're looking at. You know, like the 3 little segments here. Kind of color-coded. This symbol's interesting. And I mean, they don't look horribly dissimilar from like Roman numerals. I love the music here. This was the track I was most looking forward to. In Rebirth was the Temple of the Ancients track. But we're still not to the most interesting part, which is the mural area. And we might not make it there today because it's deep into the... But we'll try. Oh, this is one, that's right.
It's on you. I'm coming. Can you take over? I got this. Yeah. Bring it. Hey. Yeah, that's it. I got it.
Okay, so let's look at this. So it's our first little look at these figures that we see depicted. These, however, look a lot more akin to something you see in Greek architecture, but we see like somebody engaged in magic that involves this symbol. Right, and we see this symbol too in on the murals in the one. It's, you know, the symbol of the Temple of the Ancients, but it's also, we see this symbol on the murals outside of the Cave of the GOOO, leading to the entrance of the Cave of the Damned. So it's sort of meant that these are the people that were involved with the creation of this temple, is the indication that you get here so far.
Well, legend says no one who enters the temple ever comes out, according to the captain.
Why am I only hearing this now?
Asshole was probably lying through his teeth. Don't pay it no mind.
All the robes around pointing is a good touch too. Like, yeah, Sephiroth wants this too. Sephiroth wants you to do this. So what's a good way for you to get through this maze? These robes you've been following the whole time. I think it's effective. I think it's a really effective way to kind of demonstrate the story, personally. Oh, okay, that's a shot. Rufus can see whispers too. Yeah. And Sid can see the Sky Rift. Now, if you look at the letters swirling here, these hieroglyphics do match the things we see on the doors and the stuff we're seeing on the floor. So this is this unique Cetran, like, language. Like, it's not, we don't see this in anything else other than the Temple of the Ancients. And I think that's on purpose. I think there's a distinction between the cultures. And I also think it's near here where we actually get Cloud's slipstream saber. A greatsword whose power has been greatly enhanced by the Mako coursing through its blade. And all of the weapons here seem to be Cetran weapons, right? So like, and they're like, they come from varying states of like steampunk kind of, like Gambantine Tomb. Superior staff made by the Cetra to help them protect the planet. Now, if you look at it, it's the same kind of visual motif style and like technology level as the slipstream saber. So the Cetrans did have technology. You know, like this is made of metals. This looks like it's straight out of Final Fantasy 13. You know, so this is this futuristic. Same with Yarngriper. And this is obviously, these are Thor's gloves in Norse mythology. And even though they don't all say made by the Cetra, if they all have the same visual motif, they're all, you get all of them here in the Temple of the Ancients, and one of them says made by the Cetra, probably assume all of them are made by the Cetra. There. I'm skipping most treasure because I don't need it. This is for that treasure chest, which, again, I don't need. This is a really good view.
Sideways just a second ago? It was. At least I think it was.
Of how wild this zone is. It also looks like they spliced together two skyboxes.
You scared?
Now looking at the glowing balls is fascinating. It looks like a world map of sorts, but I have looked at it and it does just seem to be random. In case you were wondering.
This is the only way we can catch up to the others. Now jump, goddammit.
Do you get a locked 120 FPS using FrameGen mod?
Give me a moment, sir.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy if I change it to 66% or a little bit at DLAA. I get about 100 FPS with FrameGen. Back at the beach.
Way to go, but down.
But yeah, I like to keep it at. Honestly, the hair bothers me the most if I don't have it at 100, 100. So, what he's asking about is with the FrameGen mod, which is this Optiscaler. What do I keep it at? And I have maximum 100, 100. So this is DLAA, meaning it's not super scaling. It's anti-aliasing with no dynamic resolution. And I would take that at 60 over, you know, DLSS at 120. I mean, if I could get 120 on everything, I would take it, but like I can't tell the difference. Okay, so this right here, these lines. Sleep Easy, are you looking? These lines are reminiscent of like the Sildra Inns logo and the original FF7 logo. I don't think there's anything super significant there, but it is an interesting perspective. Tech speaking, you become caveman 9 out of 10 times. Yeah, I'm not trying to bore you with it either. I think if you want good tech talk, there's a bunch of good channels for that. And even though I do like have a pretty solid technical understanding, and a lot of the time that I spend off stream, I'm talking tech stuff. I think in terms of presented tech content, Blitz is your go-to guy. If you need guides on how to like make this work the best, he's your dude. So again, we have these women that are seemingly representatives of like masters of the temple, and the parallels between Aerith and, you know, these women are not lost on me. Also, the sort of crystalline plants at the top of these, they do sort of, they are sort of reminiscent, at least to me, of the Forgotten Capital, which, you know, I do think is significant. And of course, they moved this to be right before the Forgotten Capital, which, from a game design standpoint, makes the most sense ever. It was a little disappointing, I won't lie, but just because there's something kind of cool about there being, you know, so much discrepancy, you know, between the two locations. Like, oh, they're on the other side of the world. This is how far-reaching their society was. But we get to see how far-reaching Cetran civilization is in other ways, thanks to all the other ways that they're represented in the remake project.
This position until the Turks send.
Don't think you'll walk away from this.
The thing I like about using Limit Break on huge groups of enemies is that with a maxed out kit, you'll usually regain your whole limit gauge back just from the amount of damage you do to the groups. See? Yeah. It is a very busted limit break. The limit siphon system is kind of screwed up. If you've got Goder Damarung and or even the limit booster materia. Okay. So let's go in here. And Red Dragon's actually kind of a busted boss, too. One of the harder hard mode ones, so I'm glad we're doing it. Okay, so let's look here. Things just start to get more and more interesting the deeper into the temple you get. So in addition to this, like, this sort of tabula rasa of all these symbols that we do see throughout, there's also this new squiggly line motif, and it just, like, it doesn't mean anything super interesting, but symbolically it's just like things are getting weirder and weirder. They're also whisper-esque, which I think is just a coincidence, but it does, like, really add to, like, kind of the insanity of the place. It's both, like, more put together than it previously was and more preserved, but also wackier. But, like, the threads, they look Whisper and Lifestream-esque, you know. And then also floating area. But, like, this zone, and then it's duplicated on top of itself, so it can be, so it's symmetrical upside down or not. Like it's built to be both ways. Super cool, I think. And then these dudes just chilling. And then the red dragon is a cool looking boss. The second coolest looking monster here.
Well, this ain't good.
Like, it's just so cool. You look up dudes on the ceiling, you know? He's bringing you with.
Look out!
Wouldn't be a labyrinth without a guardian, right?
Oh, I should have Yuffie in this. Oh, man.
Don't visit all.
It's okay. We'll see how I do. Alright, this is a baller ass screenshot. But just a model detail. It's like, because they're never like massive other than Bizarro Sephiroth. A lot of times the models are hold on. The models of the monsters are kind of overlooked. And part of that's like Final Fantasy 16 was so like monsters focused that it kind of overshadowed it. But also, none of the monsters are super large, and I think the weapons are going to change that a lot.
Is everyone okay?
Don't let up.
It's your turn. Oh, you're up.
Hang back.
think it's best to target the wing specifically.
It's on you.
Here goes. Try using it.
Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble here.
You can do it, Lenny. Better stay strong. I'll take care of this. Come on, team. Seizing the open. This one's for you. I see it. Filing out. Don't catch a cold. Now for champ.
Oh man, I blew it. Did I? Okay. Okay, I cheesed my way through that fight. That fight's harder than that. I used a backline command to win. I don't feel great about that.
Cloud.
Peak right here, obviously. Obviously this is peak. That whole sequence was peak. This is a good free cam shot, right? From the mouth, from the throat. And boom. Yes, yes, yes. Kicked in the head. All right.
Nice. Oh, that old trick.
Come on.
She Aerith regenerates so much MP that it's best to just use her to heal. But something that just occurred to me, and this has probably occurred to many people, is how Barrett's outfit is based on that red dragon that we just saw. Why haven't I really considered that? Like, thinking about Loveless and Varvados the Dragon King, and how Loveless talks about this area, and how the models from Loveless are used in the weird info that we get. Okay, looking at his dragon skin. Yeah, man. This is that red dragon. So the Dragon King, I think, has to do more with that But also Neo Bahamut's also red. Okay, hold on. Let's be rational. Okay. Let's not. Oops. Sleepy, are you here? Well, yeah, Garm is from Norse mythology. Okay, so we have the red dragon. God damn it. This is the red dragon. And I mean, definitely I see it. But is there something about Bahamut Arisen that looks even more like that? Let's find out. Oops. Okay. Silver and gold, like sort of thing in the center. I mean, they're super similar, but okay. Now, but there's none of that silver stuff really applies except for on the outside there. No, this is the red dragon. This dude, okay, Varvados is based off of the red dragon that guards this temple. That is for sure. In the OG Varvados is that land dragon with a stupid amount of HPO. And I know, fucking. I know. The carob nut. Okay. So again, the deeper you get, the more things get added to the visuals here. So now there's this new layer of like external glowing snakish life stream on the outside of this concentric square. And I'm not saying it's like ultra significant other than just again like deeper into the labyrinth, right? As more layers get unpeeled. And then let's look at this actual key thing. And it's just like live stream technology. Weathered live stream technology. Right, so see this, like the stars and the tapestry, and you see this depiction of the live stream on the murals outside of the Cave of the Ghee on the way down to the entrance. And then also, it's interesting how live stream, how there's so much live stream inside this space. So what is this live stream specifically, right? Is it independent of the live stream? Or is it the live stream inside of the black materia? Are we inside the black materia again? Because the keystone turns... In the OG, the keystone turned the temple into... Oh, Night Sky Prince.
A thing without shame, to which notions of gender don't apply.
We've just been doing weird mod stuff. What were you playing? You were doing hard mode, right? I'm breaking down symbolism at the Temple of the Ancients. There's a bunch of weird stuff. Like, we noticed parallels between Dragon King Varvados' armor and the red dragon in the Temple of the Ancients. So this armor right here is meant to match the red dragon. Not Bahamut Arisen. Which sort of recognizes that there's like this link between Loveless and this temple, which we all already knew, but it's an even deeper layer. And again, at the heart of the temple here, the symbol changes again. Right? This is a more complex, like, variant of that concentric square as we get deeper in the temple. And remember that this does not spatially make sense. That this we just stepped inside a door and this is the zone that we're in. There's a live stream inside of it, and it's almost as if we're inside a materia. Now, in the OG, it was like we were inside... the temple became the black materia. In this, it's as if the temple becomes the keystone that unlocks the black materia. So what we're inside is like this materia that has this history of the containment of the black materia instead. But it's why there's things like lifestream in here, because materia is made of lifestream. So it's just a way for them to like reinforce that the world system does have these rules that it tries to follow, regardless of how easily it is for these world systems to just get warped to conform to whatever the writers decide to do. It's still an effort being made, and that's always fun. You know, that's always neat for detail-oriented lore goblins like me and Sleepeasy. But the dream within a dream idea, you know, like this world within a world, these layers, it kind of matches that aesthetic of like the MC Escher stairways that the original Temple of the Ancients had. And of course, it doesn't make a ton of sense to like not load these platforms, and so they keep them off screen so that they can just be moved to help with live rendering as you...
Wait, what in the what? Look!
Almost pity them.
I think the live stream's angry. At least, that's how it feels.
Hey, Aerith? Do you think you could explain that we don't mean any harm?
I don't know. I mean, I'll try.
Oh, I got muted. I don't know how I got muted. MJ Gallagher, welcome in. You did come in just at the right time. And yes, I have this very modded. Enjoy ours. But I'm not sure what you've caught so far, MJ, but we did notice that we compared the Red Dragon and Bahamut Arisen to Barrett's Varvados armor, and it's very clearly this Red Dragon that is meant to be representative of. And I think that's fitting since there's so much Loveless wrapped into the temple. But we were breaking down the layers of concentricity as you get deeper into the temple. And I posited a theory that what we're inside right now is a materia, and that materia is the keystone. Because this live stream is clearly kind of independent of like the greater live stream and seems to instead just include the memories of the creation of this place. And it's not like we're inside the black materia. We're inside the key to the black materia.
Let's move.
And we know now that the black materia is this other thing that's in between worlds that this is just a key to, you know.
They're with Aerith. They'll be fine.
Then we get the City of the Ancients, or we get the Forgotten Capital music starting to play, you know, those chosen by the planet. And this track goes really hard. I do really still think that it would have worked the best at the Forgotten Capital, but people disagree with me aggressively on that. Sleep Easy being one of them. So Garm is the gatekeeper of Nibelheim, and Varvados is the gatekeeper of the temple. Seems like it. We don't start getting like each layer does add like new hieroglyphics and iconography, but we don't get the real big dump until the end, like the big collection of new things to look at. This layer, the most notable thing is the one, the presence of like a lot of live stream, but two, that the symbol for these paths where Aerith does her magic are more complicated concentric squares, but we can look at one now before we even get there with Aerith. But these things, these hourglasses, they still have the official, you know, like Temple of the Ancient symbol, you know, the squares that seem to represent meteor, right? Because in the Cave of the Gi murals, when meteor is being called, it's the same symbol. So like that symbol literally does mean like meteor, or at least convey that the Temple of the Ancients and the meteor. But this looks more more like an hourglass, right? Like And it does seem to have something, there's always like, you know, the concept of time compression and stuff like that does seem to always really like coincide with the Temple of the Ancients, because the original Temple of the Ancients in the OG was described as a time capsule in the Ultimania.
We're all gonna die! Hey! Get your shit together!
No more games!
Don't overdo it.
Get him! Damn golden opportunity right here!
Come on.
Bring it home!
All set! You're finished! Pour it on! I never miss! There! Come on! There! You're finished! Yeah! I never miss!
No time to celebrate.
You all right?
We're also starting to see Cloud's attitude change as the desperation to achieve the goal that he's being told to achieve gets closer. He's like getting hangry for the black materia. But MJ, I was thinking about you. I think I've brought you up like 3 or 4 times on stream already, talking about Norse mythology and shit. We started the stream by testing out a first-person mod in Nibelheim, and we started at the Gjallar Bridge, and I call it the MJ Gjallar Bridge in honor of you. Love you too, big guy.
Don't think you'll walk away from this!
Take the lead.
Give him your all! You're finished! See ya! Stop! You're up!
Let's do this. Enough! Back to the planet.
Need any of that.
Gotta pay attention.
what I'm gonna probably quit at is right before we get to the flashback area, because that's where it gets the most interesting. That way we can just start the stream tomorrow off with it. Didn't see the snakes. Did I just see snakes behind the Argos? In some versions of ancient Greek cosmology, primordial time, Kronos was depicted as a serpent around an egg. I wonder about whether they're serpents or it's lifestream, because those do seem to get like visually similar. But it could very well be either. I wonder if they put it here because what little we have of the Forgotten Capital Rebirth, we got the Advent Children motif instead. Yeah, that. But I think it was a mistake to do that. Not that I don't think that piece of music isn't significant. It is, and it like matches from a lore perspective, but still.
Okay, it's good. Hostiles! It's avalanche!
Don't think I'll walk away from this!
Guess it's my turn! Get fire!
Still here!
You got it!
Take the lead?
Fight through it.
You're up!
I got it! I'm an action!
this part gets brutal.
I don't want to die. Please.
Because he's like begging for his life here.
It's not death. It's a homecoming.
So we've heard this line too many times now. Sorry, this is just a nice shot, so we have to do it. You don't know, screenshots are so hard to get, you know, you gotta take whatever you can.
Let's keep moving.
Hey kids, sorry we're late.
Sup, kids?
Better late than never. Still owe you both for Sector 7.
Could say the same for you. It's a shame we'll have to settle up later.
Oh wait, hold on. I've got some mail. I'll be right back. Hi guys. Okay.
Guess we'll just have to pick this up next time.
Get back here.
Damn it!
Didn't want to look at this. How do these appear? They just appear literally in the... They just spawn the models. Okay. Fair enough. And yes, these are the same exact gears reused from the Loveless play, which should not be a surprise. But do I think that's significant beyond reuse? No.
Oh, you're awake.
Did it work?
Yeah, I think the Clark transition is cool too. I hope they do more stuff like that.
I really screwed up.
And don't beat yourself up. First time and all that. Just gotta keep at it. Starting right now.
We'll get through this, Aerith. Together.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Can't give up now.
What's this?
What's happening?
Now this pool and these little life stream things that enter Aerith to give her power and understanding.
I think they're gonna teach me how to be at one with the life stream, attuned to its flow.
Yet another thing the life stream can do, right? Part of its Deus Ex Machina problem. But the pool design does seem to be lifted straight from the OG Temple of the Ancients.
Thank you.
Okay, here's another look for MJ's sake. It doesn't quite look like snakes to me. It looks like it may be just a physical representation of Livestream here. But it does look very snake-like up here, you're right. But I'm just not seeing anything that has like a head. It looks more like World Tree branches. There's plenty of that. Yeah, there's that live stream motif. So yeah, yet again, so we're at one more layer in, and then the symbols change just slightly to add more detail, right? So the more and more you look at this with the live stream and stuff like that, the more and more this looks like the process of condensing live stream into a materia. Which fits for this. The keystone has this symbol on it too. But this red here, it's like the thing within the thing, right? Like the secret that's within. And the switch from green to red does seem to be super significant, as we see later in the chapter. But we probably won't get there till tomorrow. And because I kind of don't want to just start with that, I'm actually going to call it for right now. And we'll be back tomorrow to finish this out. But it's been really fun, and I'm sorry about my weird tech issues earlier. Hopefully I'll have more mods to show off too. But this is fun for right now, and I love you all, and talk to you guys soon.